All right, Natalie. I'm going to show you how to use the trig way to memorize the trig rules. And on my hand here, if you can see, I've labeled 0 degrees on my thumb, 30 degrees on my index, 45 degrees on my middle, ring 60, and 90 degrees there. Now, it'll be easier to see through this picture here. So if you just have a look, here's my hand method. That's your 0 degrees, pi and 6, pi and 4, pi and 3, pi and 2, which is 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45, 90, 60, and then 90, yeah? And the tan I'll show you afterwards. But what we're going to do is we're going to memorize all of these exact values that you see here. Now you notice on this palm here, you've got sine on the left-hand side and cosine on the right-hand side. That's going to be key because you see here, it's just, the formula is square root of something divided by 2. So what you're going to do, is you're going to be counting the number of fingers and you're going to be putting to that square root sign to memorize. So I'll give you an example. Let's go back to my hand here. So let's say I want to find the sine of 30 degrees. Okay, so sine of 30 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my finger down. So that's 30 degrees there. Sine, we said that it was on the left-hand side. So you count the number of fingers you have on the left-hand side, and I have 1 thumb. So you'll be substituting 1 back into this formula where it was root of 2. So let's think about that. I said sine of 30 degrees, which you sub into square root of 2, and we counted there was a thumb 1 on the left hand side. So that naturally gives root of 1, gives you half. Okay, so that will tell me that sine of 30 degrees, which if we look over here, sine of 30 degrees is actually half. Sine 30 degrees. Let's try another one. Let's say I did the cosine of 45 degrees. Okay, cosine of 45 degrees. Let's go back to my finger again. So cosine of 45, this is 45 degrees. And I drop down the middle finger. And cosine is on the right-hand side, so on this side here. And how many fingers do I have on the right-hand side? I've got my ring and my pinky. So that's 1, 2. So going back to the formula, cosine of 45 degrees, which is my middle finger, is root of 2 fingers divided by 2. Actually, that is exactly the same as 1 on root 2. The only difference is 1 on root 2 is not rationalized in denominator, meaning it's not a whole number. So you notice 2 is a whole number. So how do you change 1 on root 2 to root 2 on 2? Multiply top and bottom by root 2, and that will give you root 2. Root 2 times root 2 is root 4, and root of 4 is 2. So it's the same thing. Okay? And let's try another one. Let's let's say cosine of 90 degrees, which is 0. Okay, let's go back to my finger. So 90 degrees is my pinky, and I'm going to drop my pinky down, and now I'm going to say, well, how many fingers do I have on the right hand side of this finger? And clearly I have nothing. So therefore, in the formula, you'll be saying I have cosine of 90 degrees is equal to root of nothing divided by 2, and that's 0 divided by 2, which conveniently gives you 0. Okay, so this formula, or what I'm showing you right now, will be able to give you the entire sine and cosine rule. Okay, and so the rule is square root of a number of fingers divided by 2. Now that you can find on YouTube. However, the one that I made up, which is the tan version. Now the tan still follows the same thing. It's still 0, pi and 6, pi and 4, pi and 3, pi and 2. The difference is, however, is the formula I made up. And because I know that tan is basically sine divided by cosine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count the number of fingers for sine divided by the number of fingers for cosine and then square root that. And that should give you tan. So for example, tan of 30 degrees. Okay? Tan of 30 degrees. Now 30 degrees is my index finger over here. And tan of 30 degrees, let's use my finger again. So we go. 30 degrees. I count the number of fingers on my sine. I've got 1. Number of fingers on my cosine, 3. So, according to the formula, it's sine divided by cosine. So 1 divided by 3, and then square root all of that. So here we go. So it's square root of the number of fingers for sine, 1, number divided by the number of fingers for cosine, 3. Which you can actually split this up into root of 1 over root of 3. But we know root of 1 is 1, and you have 1 on root 3, and that's exactly what? Tan of, I think it's been cut off, but you can't really see the bottom there. It actually is 1 on root 3. Okay? I've adjusted the window a bit small. Alright, let's try another one. Let's do tan of 45 should give you 1. At least you can see that one there. Okay? So same thing. We're going to go back to my finger. Tan of 45 degrees, which is the middle finger. And so in the middle finger, I'm now going to say it's number of sine fingers divided by the number of cos fingers. So let's have a look. This is my middle finger. And there's number of sine, which is 2, divided by the number of cosine, which is another 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and square root of 1 is also 1. So if you see, we go back here, so square root of number of sine fingers, 1, divided by number of cosine fingers, 1. Square root of 1 equals 1, which is exactly tan 45 degrees. So with these two formulas, and understanding that sine and cosine, sine is on the left, cosine's on the right, you're able to figure out or remember all of the exact values for trig or circular functions. I don't know if that's helpful, but hey, that's one of the only tricks I know. That is what I teach my students, and hopefully that helps you. And we'll hope to catch up soon.